thinking about next year, I think we should do a live show again. I think we should probably do like a limited or closed audience or something like that. Exclusive. We could try do that. I'd also love to spend some Patreon money to get like the most kind of like normal dirtbaggy clothes for like the kind of outfit we would wear when we're kind of like having an off day, but all sequins. Just like covered in like we should get like a thick black metal band hoodie for you, but then covered in sequins. I want to wear sequined cargo shorts.
That that's sick. That rocks.
And we're going to do it at the Finnish embassy.
That's so cool. I'm down. Hey. It's your weekly corner Späti. As you can tell, we're going a little bit loosey-goosey here after a few, I would say, a big week. Last episode the main episode that we did was quite serious.
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming to you. It is myself, Nick, and Kieran. It's the Dog Pound, I believe.
The Doghouse.
The Doghouse, yeah. Woof, 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 woof.
Woof, woof, woof. Dog Pound implies we've been caught, but we're on the loose.
We're on the loose, baby. Yeah. For all Eurovision recaps or reaction, follow Kieran on the Patreon. Go just into his mind palace and see only God. What is it? Only Mr. God knows.
Only Mr. God knows. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Brilliant. I mean, kind of the moment, but episode 6 I listened to this morning or yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And it was you give like an hour recap, and then some special bonus guests gave their long-winded opinions that you totally have never heard before about why Germany should fucking send a proper entry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a holiday today.
Yes.
It is Christi Himmelfahrt, or the Ascension, if you are not German.
Yeah.
Or if
Heaven
you are
Journey.
Heaven Journey.
Himmelfahrt.
Yeah. Or if you are normal, it is not a holiday for you, and your country, for some reason, is just hates Jesus.
Yeah. However, the other thing that happens today
is a complete just horseshoed in fucking holiday, or just shoehorned in holiday.
Yeah, that
Germany made a thing like not long ago, and they're like, today's Father's Day.
Today is German Father's Day, which my God, I spent the day with my daughter. We went out and got some lunch. It was very nice. Played with her, things of this nature, and then I walked over to Nick's to record. And I forgot what Father's Day in Germany is like for everyone else, because, my God, the thing that I kind of forgot about is as Nick points out, the very recent tradition of Father's Day is for just guys to get absolutely drunk. It is literally outside there today. It is fucking Men's Day. International Men's Day. Woo woo woo. Doghouse. I'm gonna paint a word picture of what
Vatertag
is. So I've had it explained to me.
I want to know what your picture is, because Yulia has given me the official picture.
Oh, interesting.
There's no picture. There's just she's explained it to me before in the most German way ever.
So my understanding from what I've heard from my German colleagues and things like this is that it's just your mates will come around, you and all your other dad friends will come around with a wheelbarrow full of beers.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
And you go drink in the woods. Naturally.
Okay, then your description is 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Because Yulia explained this to me, because she explained it in a very German way. She's like, oh yeah, you get a little this little thing, and you you roll it around with you and your. I'm like, what thing are you talking about? She's like, a little trolley that you
a little go-kart. Yeah.
I'm
I think Calvin and Hobbes rode around.
Yeah, and then she finally explained a little red she's like, oh, the little red, whatever those are called, radio flyer things, you know, the little wagons. She's like, it's like that, but an adult version of it. And I was like, what? And then I finally saw one, and it's these just big ass, you could fit your family in one of these.
Yeah, no, because they probably are. They're probably for rest of the year, it's probably someone's thing they use to get their kids tequila.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And on Father's Day, baby, we're packing it full of beer. And we're heading to the park with the boys. And you're going to see Dad and 8 of his best friends get really drunk and like play Frisbee or something.
So my understanding is, no, you don't see that, because on Father's Day, the point is that you are not being a dad. Ironically enough, like the kid is being taken care of by someone else, and you're getting plastered with the boys. That's my understanding of it. However, in Berlin City, I think it takes on a slightly different characteristic. You'll see a lot of this if you go to a big park. You will see the Lassenrad filled with beers and all that kind of stuff. And like German guys playing this game where they throw wooden pegs at other wooden pegs and then yell and scream and all drink. Looks great, to be honest. The one that I saw by passing Nettelbeckplatz in Wedding on my way here.
You're just doxing where I live.
You live actually relatively nowhere near there. So Nettelbeckplatz was like a place where like some Spätis are open, because most things are just closed today because it's a public holiday. And then there's just like someone blasting, like has brought a full on, like the size of what you have in your room here, Nick, like guitar amp down, connected it to like a phone or an MP3 player, playing like German GABA, just like
that rocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is he still out there? Can I go hang out with him?
If you can, yeah, absolutely. Let's go after this.
All right, I'll walk you to the station and see if he's still there.
Just blasting that. At the same time, someone has set up like an informal beer shop where they just have like lines for each type of beer they have, like an entire line of Augustina, an entire line of Berliner Pilz, just there with a big little cardboard sign that just says €1 each.
Damn, they're losing money.
Just all sitting on a bench, and like as I was approaching it, I genuinely thought they were all empties, and these 3 guys on the bench had just had the most fucking wild day.
Oh, but they're there to make some moolah.
They make some moolah. Everyone is out, blaring music, drinking. Yeah. It's Father's Day.
Yeah. Well, in other news,
we turn to the fathers of democracy.
We turn to the fathers of democracy this Father's Day. Exactly. So, in a continuation of every country that is near and dear to Nick's heart is having an election this week. We had Turkey's election last week, which, if you've been following, oh boy, are we going not only to round 2, but there's a shit ton of election irregularities everywhere.
Oh, great.
Which, one of the things that someone has pointed out is that because Turkey's election system is so just simple, that it is literally like the rest of Europe, where you have a paper ballot that you fill in and you drop into a thing.
Yeah.
It's been really easy to see then where there is voter fraud, because there's just things that make no sense, like ballots there's like more ballots than there are people in some cases. But in like
all these votes just say Ataturk on them.
Literally, like some of these like places you'd see like Erdogan 17 votes, Kılıçdaroğlu.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
that's how you get it. Yeah. Kılıçdaroğlu like 13, and then it'll be like whoever the MHP candidate is, like 475, and you're like, that might be wrong.
Yeah,
like I'm going out on a limb here.
I feel like we should set up a little jar in corner Späti game, especially if he wins in the second round. Which
how long does it take for us to pronounce the name?
I think we should set a jar, like a swear jar, for every time we say it wrong.
Oh well, I can guarantee you that Yulia will never be entering a euro into that swear jar.
She's also the one I turn to for the YouTuber's wife.
Svetlana Tishanovskaya, yeah.
You can do it too.
Yeah.
But me and Rob, and I'm not sure about Uma, but we can never do it.
Yeah, well, there's 2 pronunciations. There's the Russian and then like the fake Belarusian one, which again is a hilarious made-up thing.
Oh, really?
That is happening because no one speaks Belarusian. Only Belarusians who speak Belarusian are like Belarusian ultranationalists.
Yeah.
And now that the fact that the U.S. State Department's like, oh, actually Belarusian's a thing, and like literally Belarusians I know are just like, no. It is, like, politics aside, they're not Lukashenko fans, but they're like, no. Like, nobody's like, they're like, I can read this and I can speak it, yes, but it is a useless language. But sure, whatever. Belarusian's in now, apparently. Yeah, so Fathers of Democracy. No, not Turkey. The other Greece. That is, or the other Turkey, if you will. That is the modern Hellenic state.
Yep.
You know, occupied Turkey, aka Greece. They're going to the polls this weekend. In Greece, we gotta have to like break down a few things because we haven't talked about Greece in a hot minute.
No.
If this episode is not very well researched, I am so terribly sorry because we're gonna give you a post-election analysis when we see what the once we stop and realize what the fuck is going on in Greece, we'll get back to you. But we still got to at least talk about this. So
yeah.
Parliament. So Greece does this thing. I don't know how many other countries do this, but Parliament dissolves a month before their elections, so there is no one in government because every single seat needs to be reelected.
You're right.
All
Yeah.
right? I don't know why they dissolve the Parliament. That seems like an extra step that you don't need, but here we go. On April 22nd, 1 month before the elections, on May 21st, which is this weekend, the government dissolved. And like I said, every single member of Greek Parliament must then run for re-election. So there's been a few things that have happened recently since we've last talked about Greece. Probably the most notable, which we have a full episode with Pavlos Rufos about talking about the current government of New Democracy making Golden Dawn, Christiavi, illegal. They're an illegal terror organization, according to the Greek government, which then also means that no member of Christiavi is allowed to run for parliament.
Yeah.
Even though they're in prison, they could still run for office based on the fact that there is nothing, and I think in most countries, barring you from running for an election if you were in jail.
Yeah.
Plenty of people have run from jail.
Yeah, Eugene Debs.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be surprising that members of Golden Dawn, all
right, new power move by fucking what's his name? Andrew Tate. Needs to
I
run.
thought you were going to say Ilias Kasidiaris.
No, Andrew Tate
Run for Greek Parliament.
No, run
Romanian.
for Romanian politics from fucking prison.
Yeah. Oh god, the Andrew Tate thing reminded me of this bizarre group. That bizarre group that was like Elefteri for Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
What is it? What the fuck were they chanting? It was a Greek group of like 40 people, and they were really stoked on Andrew Tate, and they just went through the streets of Athens just chanting that they wanted to free Cobra Tate, but like in very broken, hilarious English.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I had to get in contact with them for Rupley when I worked there.
Oh, no. What was that like?
They were so stoked.
Absolutely gunning for it. Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, my Greek colleague was the one who got in contact with him, and he was just which is very funny because, not in any way politically aligned to any of that shit, and then had to really sell it of oh yeah, can we use your footage? And they're like, oh yeah, could you mention us and we could work in the future?
we get the link up going. Yeah, Rupley X.
yeah, fuck off. No, you would be that's the thing that then is also very funny about when working at Rupley was how many just right wing organizations thought that you were a right wing YouTube channel as well. And it's Rupley is just looking for footage or whatever, but it was just very funny in the sense that they knew that it was a thing.
They were literally about seconds away from do you think we could speak to Mr. Rupley?
Yeah, can I work for you in a clandestine way?
Yeah, I've been subscribed since 1 million. You know,
but that was very funny. So, funny enough that then we mentioned then the Andrew Tate thing and this the wave of conservatism because we need to do a full episode on this.
Oh, absolutely. I think I have for specifically Andrew Tate. I think I have a guest.
No, not Andrew Tate.
Okay,
we can talk about Andrew Tate, of course. Absolutely. I would love to do a Cobra Tate overview of what's Romania like if you're a sex offender.
Yeah.
Apparently, it seems pretty not bad because he's still on house arrest, I think, until the end of the month, and he has still his trial going on.
He's in a form of prison, but he has access to his phone and stuff.
No, he's not in prison. He's on house arrest now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's how he's been posting all the time.
All right, I thought it was the low security stuff.
No. I mean, still, I think he has a brace on or something.
Yeah.
He still has to report to jail. He's going to prison.
Yeah.
Because every appeal that he's made has been shot down. I think he made 5 appeals to the Romanian government or whatever, to the Romanian court system. But yeah, so our favorite Greek YouTubers, which is, we've completely forgotten that Ilias Kasidiaris has become a YouTube celebrity in Greece from prison.
Right. Him and
so
Andreas Tatos.
Yeah, exactly. Alexandros Tetos.
Alexandros Tetos.
But oh no, it'd be Andrew, no, not Alex. So yeah, Golden Dawn's not allowed to run, which is kind of a big deal because that takes a lot of the right wing vote just completely out of their camp, and something that this is me obviously speculating because I think
hasn't happened yet.
No, not the election, but I think that that New Democracy, again, entire speculation, just Nick shooting from the hip on this one. I think that the New Democracy kind of knew that if they made Golden Dawn illegal, they could do the whole thing of like, see, we're not fascists, and then just like take their votes.
Yeah.
Because the other right-wing party that then could draw them is Elliniki Lezi, which literally just means Greek solution.
Which, to be fair, sounds like you're going to get rid of the Greeks
more than just like you want the. I mean, also to be fair, I don't think like as a Greek person myself, the last country I'm looking for solutions from is the Greek right.
We invented democracy and now we've been coasting.
Just chilling. So. Yeah, Golden Dawn's been banned. They can't run from elections, but they can still post.
All parties that were trying to be successor parties as well also got shut down, didn't they?
Yeah. Anything that then has an association with Golden Dawn and their leadership, predominantly, what the fuck's his name again? Michilakos, or whatever the fuck his name is, the head of Golden Dawn's also in prison as well.
Yeah.
And then also the most famous one being Kasidiaris, who literally is what if Alex Rodriguez was a Nazi?
Yeah,
that's only maybe only Americans will understand that because he looks like Alex Rodriguez, or sorry, Jennifer Lopez's ex-boyfriend.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Now I understand. Yeah. For the Europeans.
Yeah, for the European. So other things that then have also remember Greece under the New Democracy government has been, if you've not been paying attention to politics in Greece, which literally is all of Europe.
Most people, yeah.
Anglicized news you're getting out of Greece is everything's great here. Everything's perfect. Hooray, hurrah. There's no economic crisis anymore.
A booming export economy.
Yeah, absolutely, which, can happen when your minimum wage is literally €3 an hour still, $3.75 or whatever it is. You come for Corner Späti for the vibes, not the data, because I don't have this on hand. Sorry. The minimum wage in Greece is very low compared to the rest of the European Union. But also something that plagued, we'll get to the economic stuff in a bit. Because there's a lot of misconceptions that we need to first break down. Mitsotakis has also been hit, I would say, relatively heavily from his COVID policy.
Oh, really?
That was, remember, because Greece had a tier system for tourists and non-tourists.
Yeah, they opened up they really wanted that tourism.
Yeah.
And
then you had massive strikes that were happening because of the vaccination passport thing that was happening, which, again, in hindsight, we need to not always see this as a reactionary right-wing thing. We need to see this then, too, that then there were a lot of people on the left who were heavily criticizing the sense of a government, just the government having this mandate, particularly for anything, it was mostly unionized workers and workers particularly in the healthcare industry. However, Greece wasn't I can understand when people in smaller countries are especially ones that have histories that they do of Greece of just pure skepticism, when populations, particularly older populations that are more remote, just have no desire to get no one in Greece wanted, not no one, but people in Greece weren't getting vaccinated. Greece has an aging population and also has a very skeptical population as well too.
Yeah.
And the thing that really weirdly worked in Greece, especially with older people, was that they sent priests around to vaccinate people, and it worked. It worked really well, but still, nonetheless, there were a bunch of people who were barred from working because of the vaccination pass. I mean, we saw similarly a protest from France, that it wasn't so much the sense that people were protesting the fact of again, I understand, I don't necessarily support or not support this, but I can understand the sentiment that there is legitimately a sense coming from, whether it be the Macron government or the Mitsotakis government and this and that and that, and if you politically just don't like them, and there's a massive distrust amongst these people, regardless of that, and I can understand at least when people have that distrust historically from communities and countries where, maybe the best interest of the individuals in the sake of Europe and the economy is maybe comes second to then that of Greece being like, oh no, we got to get the fucking economy rolling, because the Greek economy didn't slow down or stop. They depended heavily on tourism. There was also then during COVID, remember, there was massive protests of students and stuff like that for various different reasons, whether it be policing on schools and stuff like that, because Greece has literally written into its constitution that can't be a thing. So that Mitsotakis overturned, bringing police back onto campuses in Athens at the universities, which was historically always seen as a no-go thing to do because of the history of the dictatorship in Greece. Police violence, or he actually brought the National Guard into Exarchia and stuff like that. Migrant policy of Greece too has been.
Exarchia was particularly attacked. I remember.
Exarchia, the police are back there now.
Yeah.
So, and there's been a lot of evictions of not even just like squatters, but of just like political activists and stuff like that, just getting their headquarters just completely just removed and raided by the government. And the latest thing, and as well too, just a general kind of vibe that, again, remember, when Greece goes to the polls and the news that we read from Greece is from then the Anglosphere that then is telling you that everything in Greece is fine, don't worry about it. The good guys are in charge. That means a person who I think what is it the Interior Minister, Georgadis, who like literally was an anti-Semitic book salesman, and on television, yeah. So these are the good guys.
So it's not like there was a bookshop you could just avoid.
Yeah,
it was on
TV. Yeah, just a lot of his government is chock full of the similar personalities that you would just see in Golden Dawn. They're just not hyper violent. They just use the violence of the state. So, and then the newest development that then has really taken a blow to Mitsotakis has been the train collision in Tempe.
Yeah.
Or near Larissa, if you know where the geography of Greece is. So, that all, once again, too, broke into massive strikes starting from, of course, from the public transportation unions, spreading to general strikes in Greece. So Mitsotakis weirdly could probably still win, though, which is hilarious of a guy who has just a rap sheet right now of just nothing but just L's. But it doesn't really matter because there is like the left in Greece is one of the most depressing things to just continuously look at. Yeah. So,
everyone.
Did I miss a bad policy of Mitsotakis? Like, I feel that I hit the main ones.
Well, yeah.
Also, our Greek listeners can obviously the three of you that probably exist.
we have a couple.
Oh, we do. Cool. Yeah. Shout out to our Greek listeners then.
So I think you also have things like, although I warrants more investigation on our parts, the wiretapping scandal was a huge one.
Oh, I completely. That's the thing. There's been so many like hilariously large scandals that should have removed this government.
Yeah,
and they just brushed it under the fucking rug.
Yeah. Where we're just like, we're like spying on everyone. It's fucked and it's stupid, but also nanny boo boo. What the fuck are you gonna do? Yeah,
one of like there was also then a very serious case then recently that started in massive protests, where one of like the largest, I believe, is a playwright who then was close to the government, had a massive rape scandal come out where he was found guilty of multiple cases of rape, and the government was just like, yeah, sure, whatever, just brushed it aside more or less. And Greece, we've talked about like the sense, I believe, of like femicide in the sense of like Turkey and whatnot, where this has become a big issue. And I think that in Greece is another good example of a country that like doesn't really take women's issues very seriously, because there are like, it's like where Germany is like the thing of like, oh, why is there a cannibal every like 2 meters or whatever in Greece? There are so many stories in Greece of just like a husband just murdering his fucking wife for no reason and shit like that. And the government doesn't really take a lot of this shit seriously. The rulings on these things haven't been very good historically. And there's been a lot of people in Greece, particularly under the Mitsotakis government, but just historically in Greece as well, who have come out more to the street protesting against like women's rights and femicide and stuff like that, because these are issues that are vehemently ignored
Protesting. Sorry, you said protesting against. Protesting for women's rights.
Protesting for women's rights. Yes,
protesting against the government and their inaction.
Yes,
on,
exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Mitsotakis weirdly is in this case where he can probably just cruise along and coast and be fine because his competition is weak AF.
Yeah, so we are in the land of
Did your left wing group like splintering off and then splintering off again and then splintering off one more time?
We are in the land of what was it 2010s wanky left wing word of the day, PASOKification. And you know it's a real thing because so I'm looking at my polling aggregates because that's how I understand the world.
I mean, go for it, yeah.
Yeah, so like New Democracy is they're going at like 36%.
Yeah, mind you, also Greece needs. I had to have to clear this up because this is a very weird and big part of Greece's democratic system. Greece used to have a 50 seat bonus if you won. Yeah. Because no one, as you can see by these numbers, when Greece politics, New Democracy is going to win. Can they form a government? No. Maybe not. And Greece will then go into a second round of elections that until you literally until you can just keep voting until you can form a government, more or less. It isn't like a round system like France's or Turkey's for presidential things. It is literally keep going until we got a government because now Greece is a full-blown parliamentary system. However, I think that we're going to see that parliamentary systems in Greece are going to be chaos because even with the 50 seats, if those still existed, New Democracy can't have the majority like they used to have.
So majority you need is 151 seats. You get so that's a parliament of 300.
Yeah.
So 50 is pretty substantial out of that. That's a sixth? No, something.
It's a sixth.
Okay, cool. That's like a fucked amount to be getting on top of like you winning the election. New Democracy 36%. They were lower at one point, and they've been they were on the decline. Now they're coming back up, I guess. Might be a case.
Let me see a Greek man grind. All right, so
I mean, I think they get the kind of effect that a lot of like Christian democracy, like center right parties of Europe get, which is like a lot of people publicly making hay. Like you get it in Germany of like, the government's not working. Blah blah blah. I'm going to vote Green. I'm going to vote SPD. Blah blah blah. And then you get to the ballot and you're like, okay, so we all know I was kidding, right? I'm going back to the default party of this country.
The CDU of Greece.
Yeah, exactly. And then and I mean they are because now we have as the main opposition, you have Syriza, which is still a fairly new party. Like this is their third election that they've ever really contested.
After they've had a mass exodus too as well. Yeah. So you have to remember last election, Syriza had I think an eighth of their party just dip.
Yeah.
And then you have the formation of other parties, one of whom we're gonna obviously have to talk about because they're polling surprisingly really well for as small as they are, which is Mera.
Oh yeah, they're at they're consistently at 4% now.
Yeah. Which 3% is what you need in order to get just being acknowledged.
Yeah.
I think you need a 5% threshold to then enter parliament as well, or something.
No, the threshold in Greece is quite low. They don't have a...
Oh, they don't have a threshold then.
No.
All right. Among youth voters, they were polling weird... I mean, I think people up to 30, they were polling at 11 or 12% I saw recently.
Yeah.
Which was incredibly... given, the youth vote in Greece matters a lot less, I would say, than other countries because the youth are moving away from Greece.
Yeah, and... if you want to talk about the section of the Greek electorate that is most disenfranchised, it's the young.
It's the people who've literally had to go move back in with their parents and shit like that because of the apparently this economic crisis ended, but
well, a lot of what Greece is now is I have a job, it just pays dirt.
Yeah.
It's
probably also under the table too.
It's under it's under. Yeah, it's under the table. If this was taxed, I would be paying more dirt. It's possibly also seasonal because it's probably tourism related. So during the winter, I'm fucked.
People go and will work 3 months on an island and come back home and stay with their mom or whatever. which is one part you can argue is like cultural, yeah, sure, whatever. But the reality of it is it's economic strife.
Yeah, and I've seen like countries with I think a bit more of a functional version of that. Like that's also Croatia.
Yeah,
where like all the students like are in Zagreb or like some other major cities, but then like go to the coast and Dubrovnik during the summer. But that like my understanding is that also kind of like ends when you graduate.
Yeah,
so when you graduate, you're able to get like a job.
Yeah,
or you move away because it's still like Eastern quote unquote big E capital E Eastern Europe. Anyway, so yeah, you've got PASOK Canal now. They've Movement for Change, as they call themselves.
They got sued. Did you know that? They said it was too similar to like one of the to someone else's campaign thing.
Oh, the most fucking platitude ass title of a political party, Movement for Change. Yeah, that's some like always twirling towards freedom ass title. Yeah, they're eating shit. And then you've got your various like small-ish parties, Mayor 25, KKE, what is it? National Party.
Is that not Eleniki Lizi? EL?
No, they're up there. They're also 4%. No, this is Ethniko Koma.
Oh, literally just National Party.
National Party, yeah. I'm going with the translation, folks.
Literally, yeah, literally. I mean, that literally just National Party. There is no...
hang on. This sounds like a familiar name, or maybe I'm suffering from the there's only 4 names in this country situation. Elias Kasidiaris?
Oh, yeah. I mentioned him 4 times already.
You did, yeah. Okay, but that's National Party.
Well, he's not running. He's not allowed to. He's still polling.
He's still polling at 4%, I guess.
Wait, well, his party is just called National Party?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like a big old Spartan helmet.
Oh, what a fucking nerd.
Yeah, at the bottom.
Wow. I didn't see, this is the thing is that I removed anything that was like Golden Dawn related from my notes.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, they're not running, so I don't give a shit.
They're polling,
That's
I guess.
So funny.
I guess you just ask people like who you voting for. Is like, well, you can't, but I guess.
EP affiliation. Unaffiliated.
Unaffiliated.
Yeah. Keeping up with Golden Dawn. Oh, God. I love this. Oh, yeah. No, so, yeah, PASOK still there. The thing I'm very curious of is what has Alexis Tsipras been up to as of late? Because all I've been seeing him do as of late has been collecting L's left and right. But yet, again, as I'm seeing literally as of the polling was taken this weekend on the 13th, or last weekend.
Yeah. 13 was Eurovision.
Yeah. All right. So Greece still not at a Eurovision fever.
No.
They didn't even make it. But yeah. Syriza is still at 29%, and the thing that makes it very odd is that then if Syriza were to win, there's not a party who wants to work with them.
No, well, it also kind of looks like, based on the polling, that any party that could or would work with them as like some sort of united front against ND, all of their voters are going, because like the upward trajectory there of Syriza is mapped 1-for-1 with PASOK going down in the polls.
Yeah.
It's PASOK people being like, well, okay, we're getting serious now. If I don't want ND, I'm voting for Syriza.
Yeah. But then there comes the interesting question, because I literally just wrote on the note, Tsipras, what has he been up to? But literally, I don't think that... I mean, if we see Syriza as Tsipras, then I think we're missing the point of then what Syriza is, because... Like, okay, yeah, Tsipras is a figurehead of this party, of course, and he's the one who would theoretically become prime minister again. Yeah. But Syriza, at least on the left, I would assume also in Greece, represents just like the largest historical L in this country's history. And it was supposed to be, again, you mentioned the word PASOKification, which then hilariously Syriza also had a PASOKification internally within itself.
Yep.
So so Syriza then gets to like 30-something%. Let's say that it's like neck and neck. I have much more confidence in New Democracy turning the 4% of like Eleniki Lizi and be like, yeah, you guys are ultra nationalists. We do not give a shit. Do you want to come in coalition with us? And of course, Eleniki Lizi and their like 4 or 5% of voters will gladly do it. Mera won't probably form a coalition with the government of Syriza.
Yeah.
Just simply put, their entire point is being an opposition movement, which at some points I can find commendable, and at other points I can find confusing.
Well, when you're polling 4%, it's less of a. It's kind of like it's a little different when you're talking about a heyday of like Die Linke when they were polling.
Exactly, like 11, 12, 13%, of course. And they're like, oh no, we don't want to be in government. It's like, well then what the fuck are you doing as a party? 4%, I can understand. You're not gunning to be in the government. I can guarantee that the Mera won't, I mean, if they do come to the table for coalition talks, if that were to be a thing, won't go over very well, because literally that entire party is made up of ex-Syriza people who are very fed up with Syriza. Now, how much of it, again, completely understandable if they're willing to bite the bullet and just do a coalition, because literally this government is very bad. We talked about just like local things in Greece that have happened, but really turning up the heat with the Greek-Turkish relations have been one of the stupidest things I've witnessed recently, where there was like literally nail-biting moments of like, oh shit, is one country going to invade the other just out of the dumbest shit ever because you have two ultra-nationalists in power, literally right over the border from one another, to the point that then, like, again, you mentioned before how like Erdogan has like literally claimed territories when he was talking with Tsipras, because he felt that he could like push him around, and
we need to redraw the maps, I think.
Yeah. I mean, like Thrace literally got like just like put into Turkey, like literally all of Greece got put into Turkey under some maps, but then like Erdogan literally is in Greece being like, yeah, maybe we should just like reconsider this whole shit. So Mitsotakis has been much more like, there's been these hilarious bids of the F-35 bids that Greece has been going back and forth with. Turkey then now, literally they're just trying to like, who can own each other better by buying this absolute bullshit piece of U.S. hardware that nobody wants.
Yep.
And, just to mention as well, too, that then just like the border, not border disputes, but border policies of refugees under new democracy have, not that they weren't good under Syriza either, but like, Mitsotakis is literally just like building new concentration camps, more or less, in the Aegean Sea, because for Europe, Greece is a bargaining chip as well for that. Remember, there are still people who are in like Moria still exists, and all of these people are still in these camps who came over 7 years ago now. 7, 8 years ago. And this is a problem that the government has just more or less we talked about on the Turkey episode last week that Europe uses Turkey as a bargaining chip, uses the Erdogan government as a bargaining chip. And we're hilariously seeing Politico become really pro-Erdogan now, because I'm pretty sure that they're realizing with now the wonderful leadership of what the hell's his name? The German guy who owns Bild. Who owns Politico now? Oh,
Dupfner?
Yeah, Dupfner.
Yeah.
That there's this clear line that the conservative wing of Europe wants Erdogan because that bargaining chip then will still exist. Of the refugees literally kept at the border in some cases. So and there was, remember, scuffles between Greece and Turkey over like people literally using people as weapons more or less to change policy one way or the other. Turkey putting pressure on, Greece putting pressure on. It's vile. It's the Mitsotakis government and the AKP government of Erdogan, I think, are like this perfect match to allow this horrible rhetoric to just like continuously. It's like nothing's ever going to happen, but you're just like, how do you flex the ultra right wing thing continuously and not just have like these two dipshits more or less just, doing dick measuring contests at like, national, international meetings and whatnot. It's so stupid. But so, in all this though, they're like Greece is going into a very serious election, it is. This is the thing that then's kind of very like, that we kind of have to like put, like, why I want to get someone to talk about like the post-election analysis. We have to obviously let you know that this election's happening, and that these parties are there, and that it is looking like that we're probably going to end up with an ND government again. Maybe we get lucky and there's no government formed, which then maybe reshuffles the deck a little bit for the month, because if Greece doesn't make a government with the results that then happen this weekend, they're going to end up having to have new elections called by the government in the beginning of July, which that date's not been given yet because hopefully there's no reason for it. So, yeah. What other parties do I have listed? I have KKE.
Yeah.
They don't really need they always pull between 7 and 9 to 11%.
Yeah.
Depending.
They don't work with anyone really as well.
They refuse to after PASOK.
Yeah.
Because I think KKE, I need to be very specific about this. For then when people are like, oh, look, cool, Greece is a communist party. The KKE is like a Stalinist party. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that their politics have not changed since the year 1953.
Yeah.
They hold literally everything that you can possibly imagine from that year is like still their party policy.
Yeah.
They are against gay marriage, incredibly transphobic.
Yeah.
Believe in like the family as like a material production unit and shit like that. Like this very old fashioned, fucked up, weird Marxist view that clearly has changed.
Oh baby, I'm gonna make you surplus.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like literally just leaned in a little bit too much to the idea of production and
I'm gonna social reproduction
and have been a massive political force in Greece, I think mostly out of like, I don't want to say clout because they literally fought a civil war. And it's kind of this thing that even like leftists in Greece, they acknowledge it. Like, and like people that I know in Greece who have talked to about that acknowledge that then like the KKE has like a place in history that's like really important for Greece.
Yeah.
Whether it be then that of, the Civil War or, activist movements that then came from this, that, and the other, but they still find that like they're old-fashioned kooks, more or less.
Yeah, I also understand that a lot of their votes can come from kind of like resentment about the way the Civil War went.
Yeah.
Like that it's almost a protest vote against anyone who wants to be a little too like reminiscent of the junta. Because then like there's also it kind of reminds me of the way that a lot of pissed off East Germans voted for Die Linke, even though their politics weren't really aligned with them. It was just kind of like, this is the only party that kind of like recognizes, like that we're getting shafted or whatever. There's a little bit of that going on. But yeah, they're still kind of there. They're still kind of a thorn in the side, but like they've been there for so long that like basically all the major parties just have learned to work around them. Yeah.
Because they're not, it's not like Golden Dawn where Golden Dawn popped up, got, I believe it was like 13-14% that popped him into third place. Like,
yeah. Like that's worth mentioning with like Syriza and ND, and historically like PASOK and ND. It would always be effectively these two parties and like a very distant third. Yeah.
But the distant third was always KKE, and they just existed. Yeah. Like no one's working with them. No one works with them in the European Union, in European Parliament in any way. Yeah. They're just they have the feel, vibe, and everything of just like a party that's 40-50 years just like in the past.
Yeah.
And they're really active. Like I can't like I don't as much as I'm like saying negative things about
help with union stuff.
Yeah. I mean like the Greek Communist Party is incredibly active in a lot of like one of their like literally there's a workers there's a trade union called PAME which does a lot like every week does a protest.
Yeah.
Like does a march to the parliament. They start at Omania and they go down to Syntagma Square.
They're pretty active here too, aren't they?
PAME just does a bunch of posting and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like they are like PAME is affiliated with the KKE.
Yeah.
And so the KKE and the youth group, I think they're called the KNES or something like KNES.
Okay.
They're always out doing, handing out flyers, doing activism, this and that and that. They are like, and they have a very big youth movement too.
Right.
So regardless of then how like archaic their policies may be, like I still always kind of have like a little bit of hope that the Greek communists, like I don't want them to reform on their like Marxism. I don't care. Like they can be like full blown for like state socialism for all I care. Like I care about the social shit that they're bad on, because the economy shit, like whatever. Yeah, like they're Leninists, and I think that the Leninist version of organizing your economy is like legitimate and has like, you know, they're gonna probably, if they were to ever be in power, they would probably do what every communist party does. They're like, well, we're neoliberal now.
Yeah,
you know. So, but
it's really the scene from fucking Arrested Development of like, because like we'll go into the government. Yeah, when people go into the government, pacification happens. They kind of like betray all their ideals. It never works out.
Yeah.
It might be different for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's who knows? Maybe also as well too, because they don't have the history and the pedigree of, say, you know, Western communist parties. Where I think like the most notorious example of this is like the French Communist Party, just like is a shell, or like the Spanish Communist Party, or just kind of like these shells of what they used to be, and have just kind of very much just been like, well, I guess we're like neoliberalism with like a bit of like, you know, what if the state did neoliberalism?
Yeah.
You know, or like the silliest example of the former Eastern European communist parties are like, we're not a thing.
Oh yeah. Or like, it's, you know, oh, this was once upon a time, this was the Slovakian Communist Party, and then 1991 we're all the same guys, but we changed our name for the Party of Happy and Friendship. Yeah. And what our main policy is homophobia,
pro-homophobia,
budget cuts and austerity,
but we're communists too. Just you know,
Well, like it kind of becomes like we're all communists the same way Schultz is, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Schultz, a proud Leninist.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I've already mentioned Eleniki Lizy, far right wing party that then is polling at shit, and then. Mera 25, who, if you go way back when, I have an interview with two of their members of parliament who are very lovely, and again, they're polling around that 4 or 5% threshold. Yeah. To be very fair as well, are in parliament currently right now. They're not like, I mean, yes, of course, like they're an outsider party. They're like Yanis Varoufakis is like, more or less seems like his personal project in some instances.
Yeah.
The DM25 thing didn't really take off as well as I think that then people assume, but man, it exists in Greece more or less at a comfortable opposition.
Yeah.
As like a comfortable opposition party.
So DM25 is has effectively, or at least a lot of it has changed into Mera running in various countries. Mera is now a party you can vote for in Germany.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was called. Oh, yeah. True. They just ran in Bremen.
Yes, they recently. Did. Yeah,
they did like a thing. They were working with Die Linke, weren't they? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know about that. I have not been paying too much.
I just
attention.
Saw that they started a chapter in Bremen for the elections, and then I didn't pay too much attention about that.
They're coming up in Volomats and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, cool.
They're around.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned before, which this shouldn't really be a surprise then to anyone who's interacted with, whether it be DM or Mera or anything of that. They're doing pretty decent amongst younger voters in Greece, but you mentioned as well, talk about a group of people who are disenfranchised, young voters. Also, Greece has a policy that you have to vote. It is required
mandatory events.
Mandatory voting, which ends up with some of the funniest shenanigans that ever happens of
protest votes and
no, not protest votes. Just about like every year at least, like a handful of ballot boxes just get stolen and like lit on fire. So I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for then those shenanigans.
Yeah, that's some good shenanigans.
Yeah. However, one very funny shenanigan that I feel I have to bring up before we kind of close this discussion of. Greece has ended up as the lowest nation in terms of like freedom of press in Europe. It beat out Hungary, which is by like a massive margin.
And I'm also assuming by Europe we're excluding Turkey, because Turkey's pretty bad.
I'm talking about EU.
Yeah, EU. Okay, yeah.
Oh, no. Greece was not far away from Turkey.
Not far away, sure. But
No, but like Turkey is like approaching like fucking like Saudi Arabia with their like North Korea ass fucking control on media. I mean, there was this thing the other day. I mean, I don't know if you saw it or not, where there were these journalists in Germany who were arrested.
Yeah.
And the Erdogan government made like a huge stink about it. But then when you read the press briefing from the police, they arrested these people because they were like collecting informations of local Turkish voters in Germany. I'm a bit of a journalist, but if I'm not mistaken, that was never part of my job.
Yeah.
Was having to fucking dox people.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of like, and they're from Sabah, which is like the AKP's like literal mouthpiece.
Yeah, sure.
So there is bad, like Greece is bad, and then there's like literally spying on people in Germany bad through journalists. And if you want all about that kind of stuff, check out the last main episode where we talk about Turkish Germans and how spying and stuff like that's actually quite common within a lot of things of people who are brought from Turkey, particularly in like organizations or things that are run by the government, and they're then pretty much just like told to like, hey, just spy on everyone, collect data, collect things, collect names, collect numbers, collect this, collect that. Mosques are a really good example of this because they all come from the Turkish government, and so these organizations that exist in Germany under the banner of the Turkish government's flag are just kind of used as a thing for the AKP to spy on people and shit like that. So this wouldn't be a surprise. Would it surprise you that then when you have a country of like 8 million people, and you have a really corrupt media landscape like Greece's? I think 9 million people is what Greece's population.
It's about that.
Would it surprise you that then that the maybe the method of how you do your TV debates might be affected by this?
Interesting. Go on.
All right. So the TV debates, which I believe are tomorrow, or something like that, or maybe they already happened. I don't know.
They're 10 million now.
10 million people.
Good for them.
We did it. Congratulations. Regardless of the public broadcaster in Greece, every party was allowed to then survey I think there was every party was allowed to then bring forth moderators and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they were allowed to then approve others, this and that and that. Well, it turns out one of the moderators is literally married to like Mitsotakis' son.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Or wait, no, he's married to the mayor. Married to a New Democracy politician in Athens,
right?
Which I believe is the mayor.
Yep. Yeah. There you go.
And another one then also is married to a member of Syriza as well.
Yep. Absolutely.
So it is very funny that then there was a massive kind of backlash in English speaking what's it called? English speaking
media,
Twitter, media, whatever.
Yeah,
this and that. People like pointing this out. Like, hey, like this is bad. Like this is, but it's like almost at the point that it's just like comical at this point.
Sure, yeah.
That you literally have then someone who is like people who are just related to the candidates just coming out and be like, yeah, sure, I'll moderate this thing.
Yeah.
So maybe we're not going to get the fairest of debates.
Hey, honey, I know.
Which the debates are only with the top three candidates, which are Mitsotakis,
it's PASOK,
and the nameless PASOK fool who.
Yeah.
Why are you still in that party?
Mr PASOKification.
Mr PASOKification himself. I forget his name. I think it was, I'm about to say Papa Andrea, but that's just literally the former head of.
It's still him. They got him back.
In Greek politics, it would literally just be his like great grandson or some shit.
Kinema Alagis.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
So there's like, I really like the idea of just like, hey, honey, I've been asking a lot, but could you moderate?
Can you moderate?
Is this for me?
Yeah. I know it's only for special occasions, but could you please moderate my national debate?
I know we've always talked about like our fantasies, and mine would be you moderate a debate for my party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you loved me, you'd moderate my debate. So, again, more shenanigans obviously to come out of the Greek elections, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm similarly to Turkey, but I feel less shitty about this because while Greece is a corrupt, horrible country politically and whatnot, this and that, I don't think that like the level of election fraud that happens in Turkey is going to be the problem. I think it's just going to be the fact that Greece is a very conservative country.
Yeah, the vote was the vote was legitimate. It just sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like, at the end of the day, do I think that Erdogan still probably won the vote in like Turkey? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not stupid. Do I think that the results are a bit fucked because of just tactics that have been used? Yeah, but that's like those are two separate.
Well,
things.
yeah, but like, yeah, it's kind of like the rigging of the election also doesn't need to happen when you like wrap up the entire media apparatus. You make it like law that whenever someone says Kilic Darvalu on like TV, it's overdubbed by me saying it, so it's confused Turkish viewers.
Literally, I'm like, for fuck's sake, come on! Like Erdogan literally has been like, oh yeah, like Kilic Darvalu is a member of the fucking PKK apparently. Like that was literally his campaign. At some points, it's like, oh, he's gay and he's a member of the PKK.
Calling everyone gay thing was just insane.
Sorry, now just imagine Erdogan's Italian and be like, I don't know, that Kilic Darvalu guy, kind of gay.
Yeah.
Also heard he fucks with the PKK. The PKK, if you know what I mean. Oh.
Hey, Tony, you ever hear about this?
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the thing is that then it's like Turkey's politics, you'll hear this shit of like, oh, that's dumb. How do people buy into it? And then like I'll talk with friends of mine from Turkey and they're like, yeah, my parents vote for Erdogan and this and that because, and then you just like they'll fill in the blank and I'm like, that's why everyone votes for right wingers. There's I mean,
it's not different.
There's no mystical magical thing of like, oh, Erdogan has like a like a mystical Georgian Greek spell over the Turks because remember apparently Erdogan's not even Turkish. That was
the Pontic Greek myth. Yeah.
He's just like he's doing he's like go Greeks walk like this, Pontic Greeks walk like this. Oh, and they like put you under spells. Actually, that's the thing. I've had all of corner Späti under a Pontic spell.
Yeah, absolutely.
The entire time.
No, the Erdogan's power is off the charts because he's a type of Greek that hasn't existed in like a millennium. He's a Mycenaean Greek, like those
motherfuckers that you learn about in school.
Yeah,
yeah.
One of those paintings on a jar of a guy just throwing a disc. That's Erdogan.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, while it's not like the like comical levels of that type of shit though in Greece, it's still just in the sense that like New Democracy, I mean like in all seriousness, they have control of the media and shit like that.
Yeah.
It is very much, Greece's media landscape is very similar to that of like any country that you've seen that has like, Rupert Murdoch just like come and just destroy everything. However, instead of Murdoch owning it, it's all just like, what is France is a similar thing too. Where it's like, what if the French version of Rupert Murdoch exists? Well, he does exist, and he owns a lot of TV channels. Berlusconi similar in that way.
Yeah, I mean, like Greece, my understanding is it's like Alexis Shippos Magnetos kind of like is the owner of all the media. Speaking of which, the Greek entry to Eurovision was like the son of a shipping magnate. Yeah.
It's like that thing whenever you hear about then like, oh yeah, this up and coming Italian DJ. Don't look into the fact that he literally is the son of some like Berlusconiite. Yeah. Can he actually? Does he have any talent? No. But
yeah, the guy's playing fucking Boiler Room. His name is Antonio Berlusconi Mussolini.
Yeah. Don't ask him anything.
Yeah,
is he actually DJing? No. But if you ask
he's just reading from a manifesto by Ordino Nuevo or something.
Damn, this is the life.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the other thing that upsets me about Greek politics is also just how much of the kind of Springer media will just bat for them in the sense of like it's all EPP baby, it's fine down there, it's great. Nick's
Yeah.
Nick's laughing. Was
Sorry, because I just got a notification on my phone from someone. So whoever you are, it says Yarda or Jarda on Twitter.
Oh, I think I've seen this.
Yeah. It says, I've low-key wondered how Germany did so poorly, since everyone I've talked to for days seems to think it deserved at least somewhat better. But now it is clear that Nick's hatred for it is so strong.
Yeah.
It single-handedly sent it to last place. That is right. That is fucking right. I will leave on that note. I have power. All right? I matter. All right? Corner Späti has enough Patreon subscribers to where I count as a country.
I think
I get votes at Eurovision. They're just not. I'm just not like
the new German.
Part of my contract is that I don't get to be on TV because they're like, Nick, you're too sexy, and honestly, like you're not European enough. You can't just be like, oh, hello Europe, we're having a sexy fun time, and 12 points go to
that would be so great if you were like
Transnistria.
Okay, though they would low key suck at Eurovision.
Yo. What if we like said like a military march? Transistor, you sing that every but like trust me, this time like it'll be sick.
No, that military march was by this one
the other Red Army choir.
Yeah, they hate each other. It's a huge scandal.
It's the cross city fucking Red Army choirs is battling it out every year. Who's gonna win Transnistria and Eurovision?
It's a very long.
I'm going to call it Transvision, but I feel that's not
a different thing. That's a different, much cooler thing.
That's the power you get when you hang out with me and my cool non-binary friends for too long.
Rival Red Army choirs.
Yeah. No,
Transnistria is a very long country, and the very north is just a completely different world from the very south.
Yeah. The Transnistria has like Houston rap beats.
Your mother is a Gagausian. Just ethnic groups you forgot existed.
Oh my god. God damn it, we're still on Eurovision talk. All right. If you wanna stop the episode now, you're more than welcome. All right. Catch us, on the bonus feed for all Eurovision content.
Yeah.
A little announcement about the Patreon before we go, and I give my opinion about Germany to you because this is completely not important. Is that at the end of this month, May, we will be bumping Corner Späti's Patreon back up to the $5 a month thing. So if you are subscribed at $3, you will be automatically bumped up. If you don't want to spend the extra $2, I'm sorry.
So yeah,
you can still. I mean, like, if you absolutely cannot afford it, please just like DM us, and if you really want the content, we will surely make sure that you get it. The Patreon is going back up though because we are going back to a normal schedule.
Yeah.
Of once a week bonus, once a week regular, and we will hopefully have actual like perks that we maybe not like perks like immediately, but we're like, I don't know, just things of like first come opportunities to things like merch exclusives and stuff like that, things that we're going to try to get done within like the summer now that we have literally just like the money and time to do it.
Yes.
So prices for Patreon are going back up to the $5. And is there any other announcements of anything else that we have going on?
No, other than moves are being made for the Hamburg show. Hamburg will be inside you. We are coming to Hamburg. We are doing a show outside of Berlin. I'm going to see another German place. It's going to be a thing.
Have you never been to Hamburg?
No, I haven't been to Hamburg.
Lovely.
Like, I've been to Köln. That's about it.
Hamburg would be a better city if like just every time I didn't go there, it just wasn't fucking raining.
Yeah.
It's really cute. It's really pretty. Like it would, again, like I said, it would be one of my favorite places here. Every time I went there, it wasn't miserable.
North Atlantic vibes. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I'm home. I'm home, but you're all speaking German for some reason.
Yeah, you're like Just come a little bit further north.
Yeah, a little bit further north.
Yeah. All right. Well, then on that note, you will catch us all then on the bonus feed, or I guess if you're not cool, on the regular feed.
Yep.
And I will leave you with my final Germany thought then, which is